Who do you think will win? Knull vs. Dormammu is a showdown between two of the most powerful and feared entities in the Marvel Universe, Knull the God of Darkness and Dormammu the Lord of the Dark Realm. Knull, creator of the Symbiotes and the All-Black the Necrosword, possesses not only immense physical strength, but also cosmic control over darkness. He has fought the Celestials alone and created armies of symbiotes that have destroyed planets. He has the ability to regenerate, manipulate minds, and even tear apart reality with his power. Dormammu, meanwhile, is a master of dark magic and an entity capable of altering reality at will within his realm. He is immortal, unaffected by the laws of physics, and possesses powers that surpass those of many Sorcerer Supremes. Dormammu can control enormous magical energy, manipulate time, space, and souls. Before we dive into the analysis, please click the subscribe button. Please remember to turn on notifications by clicking the bell icon. Thank you very much. Knull is an ancient cosmic being, so powerful that the universe trembles in his presence. He is not only the creator of the symbiote, but also the embodiment of pure darkness, of the chaos that has never been born. As the Lord of the Abyss, Knull controls a dark power beyond the understanding of any living creature. He has no need for light, for he is the antithesis of all established order in the universe. Knull can summon the primordial void, an ancient substance that existed before the Big Bang. He manipulates it like a master craftsman, forging it into sharp blades that can slice through reality or creating vicious creatures with an unquenchable thirst for blood. The symbiotes he creates are like tentacles of himself spreading across the galaxy to sow darkness and destruction. In the face of the gods, Knull does not flinch. Even the Celestials, giants of overwhelming power, have been cut down by him with a single blow of his sword. Brutality, coldness, he is a living nightmare, a cosmic wraith, a reminder that even light has enemies it cannot defeat. Knull does not fight for a cause, he fights for destruction. Knull is the embodiment of power that transcends the boundaries of time and space. He not only existed before the creation of the universe, but survived the Big Bang, something most cosmic beings can only imagine with fear. Celestials are considered to possess power beyond their reach, capable of creating or tearing apart universes with their sheer will. A Celestial even managed to harm an adult Franklin Richards, who could manipulate reality and create universes. However, Knull not only confronted them, but also defeated 3 Celestials at once and took control of their corpses as his giant warriors. For him, nothing is inviolable. Knull is the one who can reduce legends to ashes and return the entire universe to its original darkness. Knull is the one who gave birth to the All-Black sword called All-Black the Necrosword, one of the deadliest weapons that has ever existed in the history of the universe. A symbol of god-slaying power, capable of destroying seemingly immortal entities. With the Necrosword in hand, Knull single-handedly slew an army of gods, turning the battlefield into a divine graveyard. Later, the sword was passed down to Gorr the God Butcher, who used it to subdue the old King Thor, a warrior with power far surpassing that of the ultimate Odin. Gorr not only defeated Thor in the present day, but also defeated Thor's 2 past and future incarnations. The power of the Necrosword could even consume the entire multiverse if left unchecked. But what terrified all living beings was that Knull, the creator of the weapon, was even more powerful than Gorr. Knull defeated Storm, one of the most powerful mutants, and tore a Sentry in two in a moment that few could have imagined. He wreaked havoc across the galaxy, destroying countless planets without hesitation. With each step, Knull left behind a trail of despair where even the strongest could not resist the encroachment of an unquenchable darkness. Among those who dared to stand up against him, the most prominent was Eddie Brock, aka Venom. From a normal host, Eddie broke through all limits, becoming a new symbol of hope and the inheritor of the collective will of the symbiotes. When he received the power of Hive, Eddie not only changed himself, but also transformed into the new King in Darkness, King in Black, a direct counterweight to Knull himself. Eddie did not fight alone. He used his intelligence, willpower, and mental connection with other symbiotes to break Knull's chain of domination. Silver Surfer was also a formidable opponent that made Knull wary. In a cosmic collision, Silver Surfer, who was once the Herald of Galactus, challenged the dark power with pure cosmic energy. The encounter between them was a fierce energy storm that shook the vast space. Despite the darkness, the Silver Surfer stands firm, demonstrating an indomitable spirit and a principled power opposed to destruction. Knull, he created an army strong enough to destroy civilization, and eventually his power could enslave the gods. Dormammu is a being of destruction from a dimension beyond the laws of physics. As the Lord of the Dark Dimension, he possesses dominion over other layers of hell. While many other demons operate within a certain range, Dormammu extends his influence across all realities, sowing chaos and instability in every dimension he touches. He is the most powerful being of the Faltine race, a race without physical form, born of pure energy. While other Faltine choose to live a life of neutrality or retreat from conflict, Dormammu chooses the path of absolute power, dominating and merging dimensions into his infinite darkness. This makes him an unpredictable threat, not only to Earth, but also to other metaphysical worlds. Doctor Strange, despite being a master of magic, must always be extremely vigilant when confronting Dormammu. It is not simply a battle between two individuals. Each time Dormammu acts, it is a total confrontation between order and chaos. His ability to manipulate reality, change the laws of magic, and drain the life energy of dimensions makes him an eternal nightmare. For Dormammu, nothing is impossible when his ultimate goal is to sink all remaining light into absolute darkness. And he is the most powerful race in the multiverse. Dormammu is not only the ruler of the Dark Dimension, but also the master of the secret fire, a mystical energy deep in the white-hot room, where only entities connected to the primordial nature of the multiverse can reach. Dormammu not only touched that flame, but subdued it, turning it into a tool for his bottomless ambition. He once faced a legendary weapon, a bullet forged from Mysterium, a rare magical metal that holds the essence of the multiverse together and is fueled by the infinite love that spans all dimensions. Yet Dormammu stands firm. Dormammu's power is enough to shake the entire universe, making every being, from mortals to the highest gods, wary. He can stand on equal footing with powerful entities like Odin and Zeus, who represent the ultimate order of the dimensions, knowing no fear and always seeing all limits as something that can be bent. With power comparable to any god, Dormammu is not just an opponent, he is a disaster waiting to devour all of reality. He is also a nightmare that all the lords of hell fear. In a universe where power is the ultimate measure, even the likes of Mephisto are threatened by his influence. What is amazing is that Dormammu created Satanish, an entity powerful enough to subdue Mephisto, who was already one of the most powerful demonic forces ever known. Dormammu even went toe-to-toe with Eternity, the embodiment of the entire universe. During that confrontation, Doctor Strange was forced to exclaim in despair that the very essence of Eternity is being torn apart by the power of Dormammu's attack. And Dormammu, in his unquenchable rage, nearly collapsed the dark dimension he ruled over. Dormammu defeated a Sorcerer Supreme before Doctor Strange, and even the Ancient One at the height of his power could not stop his advance. More astonishingly, he possessed enough magical power to erase classic Strange in an instant. No warning is strong enough to describe the threat that Dormammu poses. Dormammu nearly destroyed the entire Earth. He claimed that at his peak he was capable of defeating the entire celestial race. Dormammu is a force that even the most powerful heroes must falter against. He easily overwhelmed Thor, the Asgardian god of thunder, who possessed enough power to shake the galaxies. Without the need for complex schemes or long-term planning, Dormammu simply used pure strength to subdue Thor as if it were just a small obstacle on his journey to domination. It was Dormammu's presence that made Squirrel Girl, who had defeated countless powerful entities with her intelligence and cunning, retreat. Loki, the trickster god, renowned for his cunning and supreme magical power, could not hide his fear when mentioning Dormammu. For Loki, who was always confident in his ability to manipulate any force, showing fear said it all. Dormammu was not an opponent to be fought, but a disaster to be avoided at all costs. When he appeared, there was no longer right or wrong, victory or defeat. There was only panic and primal fear before a force that even the gods had to avoid. Please subscribe to the channel, it will help us a lot, and moreover, you will see great videos every day. You are the best, thank you very much. Dormammu, Lord of the Dark Realm, is no longer content with his own realm. He desires to expand the boundaries of darkness, absorbing all other dimensions into the chaos of his own creation. Meanwhile, Knull, the primal god of darkness, pursues an even darker goal, to remake the entire universe in the mold of absolute nothingness, which he sees as a new beginning. The two forces meet at the void axis, where time and space intersect, a volatile middle point between realities. Dormammu does not hesitate, summoning a vast army of demons from the dark dark dimension, using hellfire magic to incinerate everything in its path. The Crimson Fires not only burn the galaxy but tear at the fabric of reality, warping everything around them with pure magical heat. Not to be outdone, Knull unleashes the Symbiote Godstorm, a storm made up of billions of living symbiotes. They devoured planets, shrouding the world in a black web and turning every living thing into their most loyal servants. The two forces clashed, the universe shook, and the axis of nothingness itself teetered on the brink of collapse. Dormammu roared in rage, unleashing a storm of fiery demonic fire that consumed all matter. The hellfire erupted, warping space and drawing the celestial body into an unquenchable furnace. It seemed that Knull would be obliterated in that moment, but as the smoke cleared, he emerged, smiling coldly from the ashes. He had no soul to burn, no conscience to be wounded, only impenetrable primordial darkness. Dormammu thought his fire could cleanse everything. The symbiote threads had crept silently like a living virus, latching onto his demons, spreading silently, taking over their wills and enslaving them to Knull. The physical battle quickly transcended the physical, becoming a confrontation on the spiritual plane. Dormammu's chaotic, arcane, and powerful magic collided with Knull's ancient, deadly silence. On one side, chaos exploded, on the other, eternal nothingness. At the moment when the universe was about to split in two, Silver Surfer Black suddenly appeared, the light from his skateboard reflecting off the torn sky. He brought not a threat, but a cruel truth. If these two continued, the entire space layer would collapse. At the moment when the universe was stretched like a string between life and death, Dormammu called out to the most ancient darkness. He summoned the Dark Dimension Core, the core of the dark dimension he ruled. It swirled like a tornado in the void, screaming to swallow every layer of reality that existed within its sphere of influence. Without delay, Knull responded with an equally terrifying counterattack. He summoned the original All-Black sword, the first weapon forged from eternal darkness. As he swung it, it tore apart moments and pierced the memories of space. Time cracked, every beginning and end suddenly intersected, forming a chaotic vortex with no way out. The timeline disintegrated like broken glass. Every memory of reality flew away and was swallowed into darkness. There was no space to escape. There was no time to resist. There was only cold truth. Both entities were really powerful. Dormammu had the advantage due to his mastery of magic, which he could use to overpower Knull. Knull was quite powerful, but he had no chance against someone who could challenge eternity and master magic, could confront Doctor Strange himself and perform feats that were beyond Knull's power. The victory belongs to Dormammu. I hope you enjoyed this fight. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Follow me if you like. That's it for today's video. Thanks a lot.